In this video, we'll be finding the largest value in an array. So we'll start off by declaring the array with the required size. I'm going to create a variable called limit, and I'm going to give it a value of 5. And then I'm going to create the array numbers of the size of that limit. And then we will declare the required variables that we need. So we will need an index, start from index 0, and then we'll also need a number variable that we will store the numbers that the user will enter to go into the array. Next, we want to use a while loop to get the numbers and store them in an array. But I'm thinking of creating a function that takes a number from the user and returns it. So here we'll put in the function prototype. The function will return a number. It's called getNumber. It also takes a string that will be displayed on screen. So this is the function prototype. We end it with a semicolon and then we define it right at the bottom. So now the function returns a number. So I'll just define a number and I'll return it. But the work in the middle is what's important. Let's see out that message, which is the string that we've passed the function. And then we will see in whatever the user puts into number. Okay, so sorry, that's a semicolon. All right, so our function is completed. Let's see how we can use it. So we'll put in, I'll copy the function name for now, but we want to loop while index is less than that limit. And most importantly, whenever you're in a while loop, make sure you've got the incremental condition or however, or maybe decremental, just as long as you're not in an infinite loop. Next, that function call, we can pass in a message. Say my message is just plain enter number message, but then this function returns a number. So if I don't capture that anywhere, it's going to be lost. So we've got this number over here that we've declared. We can assign it whatever return value this function gives. Next, what we want to do is for that numbers array, at that particular index, store the value of a number. That's it, that's our function. So now we've just gotten the values from the user, but we haven't done anything. Let's just compile, make sure I haven't made any mistake on the way. And then let's just say my numbers are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Now let's assume that the largest value is the first element of the array. So numbers, so we indicate this with a 0, that this is our first element. Let's just display it before our program gets a bit larger. Largest, so with a new line after that. I might want to give a message though. Largest. Right, let's compile and execute. Now if I put in the numbers in that particular order, the largest is always going to be the first value. It doesn't look at the value. But now we will. So we want to loop through the rest of the array. The rest meaning from 1 to all the way to the end of the array. So for index is equal to, so now we're looking at the second value until the end. And incrementing index by 1. Now, I want you to notice how I've reused that same variable that we've got here. So at this point, this is, by the time we end the loop, it'll be equal to some value that is equal to the limit. So we don't want to preserve that value, so it's safe to actually do it. So it really depends on how you're working. If you need to keep a record of what this index is, you don't want to reset it. But for this particular program, I am okay with resetting this. Okay, so what we do now is we want to have an if condition, and we want to be checking the value that is sitting at that index. If that value is greater than largest, if there are elements, if there are larger elements, then update largest with that value. So in this case, largest gets updated to that value that is sitting at that index of the array. That's it. Should be done. Let's compile and run. So now if I've got a smaller value, let's just do -6, 25, 15, and 6. So our largest value is 25. It'll pick the largest value wherever it is in the array. So that's it. I hope this program was helpful to you. Stay tuned for the next video where we talk about finding the smallest